fellas. This is it. Come on, let's get to it.
Man, this dusty house?
Wow. Wow, this is crazy.
Man, this place is tore up.
Yeah. Used to look a lot better than this.
What you mean?
This was my room. You know, I used to come here to escape. I come over and visit my brother Jermaine and Nana. Things were a lot different for me then, and I was a lot different than what I am today. But before we jump into that, let's grab a broom and let's restore this place. Man, there's so many memories in this room. I remember coming here and how free I felt to dream. And it was a getaway. Like I would live with my mom and my stepdad throughout the week, and then the weekends I could come here. And it wasn't just responding to issues and problems. And it was like this was the place to dream. And I would dream with, it'd be me and your uncle, because, you know, he lived here with Nana, and I would come see him and come over here, and we'd dream about what we wanted to do that would change both of our lives. And we decided that we were going to open up this nightclub called Chocolate City. And we talked to our two best friends and told them, man, we can open up a nightclub. And we can all live in this big mansion together, have this nightclub, drive all these exotic cars. And so we started throwing parties. And we would charge the guys $5 to get in, and we charged the ladies $3. And we knew if there was plenty of ladies that the guys would come. And we said every night at Chocolate City was going to be ladies' night. And we had this grand idea that we had dreamed up right here in this room. We were trying to make it happen. We were trying to figure out how to get the money. And then when I would leave and I would go back to my mom's, I would see these drug dealers that live right above my other grandma's house. And I would come to know these guys, and I idolized them. I'm like, these guys make a lot of money. These guys have all the ladies. They have nice cars. They've got all this stuff that seemed like was going for them. And I said, you know what? We can maybe take that idea to make some extra money. And so, you know, we were doing all the wrong stuff, making really bad decisions to fund this dream that we had because we didn't know any other way. And one night, I ran into your mom. And I saw her at a gas station that everybody hung out at. We were hanging out at the gas station, and we had just ordered us some Strombolis right across the street from the pizza place. And it was getting close to, you know, being summertime, and school was about to let out. I said, what are you gonna do with your summer when school lets out here? And she said, well, I'm going to Upper Bound. I'm going to this college program. I knew about the program. I had gone to all the study sessions, you know, trying to talk to some other girls, and I qualified for the program by accident. I started telling the drug dealers that I idolized. I was like, you know, I saw this girl. She said she's going to college. I was like, man, I'd like to go hang out with her, but I'd have to go up to college to do it. And they were like, man, you know what? You should go to college. I told him, I said, man, I don't have any money to get there. And he gave me $40. He said, here's money for gas so you can get up to school. And from that moment, things really started to change because I was exposed to something new, being on a college campus. And at around the same time, the guys in my clique, little group that we had grown to 25 guys, and they were selling drugs, and we were planning parties still. And some of those guys started getting in trouble. Some of those guys started getting taken to jail. The ones that were old enough to go to jail went to jail. The ones that were underage, they went to the youth correction facility. And so after the guys started getting busted, getting in trouble, and the numbers were dwindling, we didn't have the same number of guys, our plan to raise money for this nightclub was slowly going away. And we were like, we've got to do something. And there was an old National Bank in the neighborhood, and we decided that we were going to rob a bank. And then we cased the bank out. My job was to make sure I knew where all the cameras were. And then a different friend of mine, he was in charge of crowd control. Our cousin, who was a friend of ours, was going to be the driver, the getaway driver. And then your uncle, Jermaine, was going to be in charge of grabbing the money. And so we had this grand plan together, and by this time, me and your mom, we started getting serious. and talking about moving out together, senior year of high school, because I wanted a better life for myself. And she discovered my black book to rob the bank. And she said, you need to throw this thing away. I got rid of that book, and I didn't have any plan of how we were going to make this nightclub happen. I started going up to college during the week, and then the weekends I'd hang out with my same old buddies. One particular weekend that I came home, and your mom, she had already been telling me, you should stop hanging with those guys. And I went up like usual. But this particular Saturday, nobody came. Nobody showed up. And your mom called and she said, why don't you hang out with me this weekend? I said, sure, well, come pick me up. I said, I need to get dressed. Pick me up in like an hour. And she said, okay, I'll come and get you. And so I left going downstairs to get dressed. And in the time that I was getting dressed, there was a drive-by. Some guys came by, shot all upstairs in the apartment, and shot the truck in the driveway. The drug dealers used to hang out there. And it dawned on me that they didn't come home, and they weren't up there because they knew those guys were coming by. And it really started to sit in on me that maybe they don't care about me. Fellas, this house is a great example of what my life could have turned out to be. Thinking that I wanted to be a drug dealer, thinking that I wanted to rob banks, and not having the right people in my life to tell me that you can do something better than what you see. This house has sat neglected for such a long time that there's things that have fallen down and fallen in and are broken. And it's a dusty old house right now. The same way that I was able to fix things in my life and get things back on track by learning from my mistakes, today I'm able to restore old homes like this one and provide housing for people who were like me, who didn't have stable housing. And so us remodeling and restoring this dirty house is symbolic of that you can fix any problem in your life, any challenges that you may have, anything that you may come up against, that you can fix it. And you don't have to settle for what it looks like right now. It starts like this. It looks dusty and it looks dirty, and there's mold places and things are broken, things have been neglected. But when you're done and it's completed, it's something great. And so I want you to take that lesson with you the rest of your lives while we fix up this dirty old home. Y'all with me?